Pisces, what is going on? Welcome to the channel. Happy New Year. I hope you had a fabulous holiday. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're going to be looking at our January 2024 energy. Whoop, whoop. So yeah, I hope things are going well. I hope you had a good time. I hope you're feeling rejuvenated, refreshed, ready for this new year. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. That's the energy I'm putting out. We had a lot of retrograde last year, you know, really bringing stuff up that was either harder to look at or just like wasn't making us feel so comfortable. And it was for, you know, a couple months. I mean, it has been a year, right? So the nice thing is we're leaving a lot of that energy behind, especially in the beginning of the year. I'll talk about that a little bit more once I do this energy clearing. Definitely grab a smudge bundle if you want to participate on your end. You can obviously receive what I'm doing on mine or just totally skip ahead if it's not your vibe. All right, Pisces, let's get going. I bless you with pure love, pure light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that does not serve our highest and best, any blocks, obstacles from receiving these messages. Cleanse my body, my mind, and my soul to be that open vessel. Amen. I have like all this hair everywhere. Long hair, no care, right? All right, so like I said, we're feeling a little bit more forward movement as we enter into the new year. Mercury goes direct January 2nd. Uranus goes direct at the end of the month, January 27th. And then we don't have to deal with any more retrogrades for the next couple months, which definitely for me feels like a breath of fresh air. We need a little bit of reprieve. I think last year by the end of it, it was just kind of feeling like enough lessons. Like just let me get a little bit of that goodness to keep myself moving forward. And you know, I do feel like Spirit delivers those things to us. You know, not everyone had the worst year ever. Some of the things that we had to overcome were uncomfortable, annoying, but we still did it, right? It's really good to reflect on how far you have come, especially since the last year. I like doing that. You know, I mean, I find that I naturally do it like on New Year's Eve, especially when the fireworks are going off and stuff like that. I had like a little tear in my eye, and it, you know, because it feels so empowering, so inspiring, like when we make it through, you know, and depending on what was going on in your world, like I said, hopefully it wasn't all bad, but we have experienced some stuff that this year, it's a year of rebalancing. 2024 breaks down to the number 6, and that's all about reciprocity, being balanced, being stable, engaging in relationships that give in return, that we're not the only person giving or that we're not taking. So this is huge for us, especially as we're leaving Mercury retrograde behind. I feel like January is this month of kind of hashing out the final details is what I've been hearing and what I've been seeing in the zodiac readings as well. Not that we're bringing a lot of that energy into January. The first week is a little quiet. Yes, there are things that are going to kind of come up that we're not expecting, some tension, conflict, some frustration and annoyances. But what I see is actually there's a lot more harmonious transits that are happening, especially with Mars. And Mars is the energy of action, movement forward. It is, excuse me, the masculine principle of manifestation. So making things happen. Spirit definitely wants to see us continuing to plug away. Don't rest on your laurels, especially if you have achieved some amount of success at this point. we don't want it to fall away. We're creating a strong interwoven network underneath the foundation so that eventually we can walk away and not have to pay as much attention to something, or to something, not someone. We always want to pay attention to the people that are in our lives, right? Okay, so what else? Then we also, our new moon is in Capricorn on January 11th. It's a really good time to set intention around career, business, success, achievements, and being willing or prepared, ready to do the work, to put in the work. Because by the time we hit the end of the month, like I said, Uranus goes direct, and we have a full moon right beforehand on January 25th in Leo. And Leo, I love this energy to me because it's like, it really lets the work that we have done, the hard work, the energy that we've put into things, it actually allows us to show it off. You know, we're going to be seeing more rewards come in, is what I'm hearing, towards the end of the month, or some of the things that we've been working really hard to manifest, we're going to see that stuff begin to trickle in. All right, with that being said, let's get going. Okay, so dealing with someone who's not really sure. The sexuality card, you know, this could definitely be love, romantic relationship. Maybe it's a situationship or a friendship, or someone who hasn't really given you that full-blown commitment. Or maybe you're feeling uncertain about someone or something that you've been dealing with. Definitely this has romantic ties to it. This is also, if you're single, it's about like not really being clear about who or what you want to bring in, what you want to call in. Maybe you're happy being single right now, but I do feel this energy for you, Pisces, where it's like a little bit lonely. I don't know, you're not really feeling fulfilled in the love relationship sector. Even with your friendships is what I'm hearing. Like maybe you're just not having enough fun time. I would encourage you to like do a hobby, call some friends, connect with some people in like a low-key way, in a way that like, I don't know, it just kind of refreshes, rejuvenates your energy, because you do feel a little bit indecisive around this person or situation. It could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I'm hearing for some of you though, this is like an air sign actually feeding into the situation. Maybe you're relying on them for advice, and I don't know, I hear take it, listen to it, listen to yourself as well. But you also might not be honest with yourself right now, is what I'm hearing. And I feel like that's why this person, this air sign, is trying to get you to see something. You also got the moving energy, so you could be planning on moving in with a partner. Maybe you're changing home, maybe changing residence, buying a house, you know, or this is also, I like that energy if you're not moving residency, of just like cleaning and purging out the old stuff, right? Kind of like revamping as if you had just moved in type vibe, cleaning out the clutter. I feel like your best friends this month are going to be your animal friends. If you have some pets, you know, pets are such a nurturing energy. They remind me a lot of children in the way that they give us this unconditional love and affection. And they are such a good support for our heart when we're going through rough times, or we have some heavier decisions to make. This is saying definitely kind of invest in more of those energies. If you don't have a pet, if you're not an animal person, then this is surrounding yourself with people who have that same type of loyalty, love, nurture, support, unconditional love and affection towards you. Because I feel like that's actually how you're getting clarity around this situation. That's how you're like, understanding more of like what you want and what your next steps are going to be moving forward. Really be conscious if you are moving in with someone, if you're kind of taking that next big step in a relationship. I would say if you're not 100% certain, maybe take a beat. Give yourself an extra month. Most places, if you're renting, they'll give you, month to month, or hopefully you're not selling your home in order to get to this place. But this feels like, what I'm hearing for you is I want to see you have a little bit more confidence in the decision that you're making before you take the next step. There are many right ways for us to behave. So in your business, in your career, I think that this is saying don't get locked into one type of patterning. So, I feel like you might have done something one way leading up till now. It might not be working anymore, and there's some adjusting that needs to happen. Coming in with that Queen of Swords energy, being a little bit more analytical with your approach to things. The Queen of Swords is really good at saying, like making that assessment. It's almost like running data, right? The data always shows what's working and what's not. Having that kind of level of practicality behind how you're making these decisions, because there are some things that are changing, and I feel like in a way that you weren't 100% expecting. Or I'm even hearing on a deeper layer, this is something that you've been fearing, and now it's actually happening. And it's making you feel really emotional in a certain way. Maybe you feel like a failure. Perhaps you didn't achieve a goal that you had set out for yourself with this Knight of Cups. So it's really assessing our intention, and again, not in a way to shame yourself, but really saying, maybe you wanted this promotion, maybe you wanted to add extra work on your plate, you wanted a raise, you had to put extra time and energy into something, and like I said, it's just the payoff isn't worth it right now as much is what I'm hearing. And so you really have to reassess. And I'm hearing from a space of humility in terms of like, don't be so hard on yourself. There are a lot of things that we try and it just doesn't work out, or we find out it's not really what we wanted. So we have to change and adjust and be willing to accept that. When we don't, then we just keep putting ourselves through more pain and frustration and, giving something our time and energy that probably just like doesn't deserve it. Babies are thinking and attracting before they are speaking. So this value that we are attracting first, right? What is within us is going to be mirrored around us, right? So when it comes to your finances, what are your core beliefs? Lack mentality has been coming up a lot, pretty much for every zodiac sign. We need to shift that thinking 100%. The universe, spirit, God, we are always supported. Even when we reflect on times where we have $0 in our pocket, there's always a way that it works out. I definitely went through a lot of that last year where I literally had no money, and it wasn't because I wasn't working or wasn't trying or, whatever. And sometimes we need to go through those lessons to remind ourselves that we are always supported regardless. When we're fearing, when we're putting out worst case scenario, then the universe is going to mirror that back to us. And I feel like your fears have kind of consumed or taken over you lately. And I think there's some clarity on how it is affecting, like how your finances are affecting your home environment. Maybe you're putting too much time and energy in at the office. Maybe it's taking away from your loved ones. That message of just like taking a break, having some fun, not being so work all the time. But for you, that is a scary thing to do, and understandably so. 1444 is on the clock. So Again, I love this. Fours are all about our protection, our spirit team, our angels, our guides, crossed over loved ones, however you understand it. They always have our back. You are protected. Faith, it's not an easy thing, right? But the more you can engage in that energy, the stronger that you're going to feel. And honestly, when you do, as you practice that, Pisces, there's a lot of beauty that's coming to you. And I think that this is going to be something towards the end of the month, beginning of January, where it's like it reinvigorates your hope, your belief in what you're building towards, etc. So don't lose faith this month. You're going to kind of go through this cycle of fear and anxiety. Try to stay calm, assess where you can. Queen of Swords energy, cut out extra expenditures, what you don't need to be doing, where you don't need to be investing your time and energy. And then you're going to see something pop up. And I feel like it's actually going to be like a beautiful offering, a beautiful opportunity. My imagination attracts all cooperative components. Okay, so when we feel resistance from other people, it's because we are resisting ourselves, or we're believing that we can't do it, that we're not good enough, or that we know someone's always going to put us down. Spirit is asking you, when it comes to your home, your family, the close-knit relationships that are around you, be careful of what you think or are expecting from others. You know, people surprise us, and I have found through and through, time and time again, that if we're not feeling validated, if we're not feeling supported by others in our environment, it's because we're not giving ourselves that. Take some time, Pisces, really kind of remember what you've come through, what you've overcome, how strong you've been through this past year, and validate yourself. You know, and then you're going to watch the people around you start to do the same. And it's almost so weird because it feels like it comes out of the blue. It's like someone says something and you're like, oh, well, thank you. You know, that was like the best compliment I could receive. Because there is something about your success that you need to be proud of. However, you are more independent. You're fine going it alone. You don't need someone holding your hand as you do it. I just feel like you're content in who you are and in yourself. That can be very intimidating for people, especially when we're dealing with people that need, you know, someone to kind of help, you know, and I don't want to like demean it like, oh, they're holding their hand or whatever, but like that value of partnership is easy in some ways and it's hard in other ways, right? Just as it is doing something by yourself. So I feel like some people in your family might feel a little bit threatened by your independence, jealous of it almost. You have this King of Swords coming up, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. Maybe this is someone, a sibling, a parent that is intimidated by you, or also intimidated by your success, by your accomplishments. I'm hearing in a family dynamic, this is something about, or people that you consider family, like your family. This is, I feel like you were kind of going through something similar as someone else, and I feel like you did it a little bit differently, and I feel like you're almost having more success than this other person, so there is a little bit of jealousy around that. I think that your lifestyles are very different is what I'm hearing, and so it's kind of like comparing apples and oranges, but at the same time, yeah, and here we have the Mother of Fire, Queen of Wands energy. So Queen of Wands, King of Air, King of Swords, and there's your energy, King of Cups. So lots of family dynamics, and we're seeing this pretty much through all the zodiac readings. You know, holidays, we're with people that sometimes it's just hard to get along, right? Sometimes we don't see eye to eye. There's a lot of big opinions or big egos in family. You know, we're more comfortable being our authentic self usually. So this is a lot about, here's the thing, with the Nine of Pentacles smack dab in the middle, you need to have your boundaries. You need to have your autonomy. It actually serves you in this dynamic. Whoever this fire, air sign are, whether they are those signs or not, we all embody all the zodiac, but whoever they are, like, listen, yes, take note of what they're saying, but ultimately it's about you and your decisions, and not being afraid of that. I feel like maybe you've let these people kind of say things, dictate things, how things should be in the past, and you're really kind of moving away from that energy. My manifestations are the indicators of my beliefs. So how we believe about ourselves, our health, our wellness, who we are, what we practice, what we bring to the table, again, is going to be mirrored outside of us. If we think we're never going to be healthy, we're labeling ourselves as this, that, and the other, we feel lazy, we feel fat, we haven't taken care of it, whatever the F it is, right? Like, we tell ourselves horrible things too often, right? Spirit's saying get out of that mentality. I think I'm hearing for you specifically, Pisces, you got to appreciate your beauty. My little task for you this month is stand in front of the mirror, say 5 things you like about yourself, you know? The more you do that, the more you're going to get confident and comfortable with who you are, and you're going to see your light and see your beauty. It's amazing. I mean, really, like, when we look at people from that space, it is actually so cool how gorgeous people are. You know, we don't give ourselves enough credit. We don't give other people enough credit. There is beauty inside of all of us, right? And we all know sometimes the standards of beauty are bullshit. I think a lot of those are changing nowadays, which I think is cool to see. But at the same time, I feel like you're still holding yourself to some standard that just like doesn't really even make sense for you, for your body, for who you are, etc. So stop being so hard on yourself. It's actually making you unhealthy is what it's saying. 2222. So this is about partnership. You know, when we're not feeling good about who we are, especially physically, I always think that like calling up a friend, sister, you know, guy friend, I don't think guys do that, but you know, like, you know, just, and having them, you know, kind of mirror back to us who we are, how beautiful we are, what we bring to the table. It can be such a beautiful dose of medicine because right now you really are limiting yourself. Maybe you're looking for people to validate your beauty a little too much with this Page of Fire. The Page of Fire is a little bit of a vixen energy. It's liking that sexual attention, attraction, wanting people to want them, etc. And that's just another way of having the outside validate us, right? You know, that can be a slippery slope for sure. So be careful, especially if you are partnered up. The safer way is to call a friend, you know, if that's what you want to do, obviously. But this is like, you know, and this is also like saying, I don't know, I think this is being gentle with yourself. You are such an intuitive energy, the High Priestess. It's hard not to get overwhelmed by our feelings or our thoughts, our doubts, etc. Spirit wants you to be a little more gentle, self-love, self-care. Do some practices that really make you feel beautiful. Go get some acupuncture, do some Ayurvedic massage, get a massage, do Reiki, you know, take an herbal bath. There's so many ways that we can kind of add this sacrament, this spirituality into our wellness regime that just gives it something that's a little bit more well-rounded and holistic. You're too stressed out, Pisces, so like give yourself an effing break, right? Remember, like, I think that's just a huge theme for you this month is like you really have to recognize who you are and what you bring to the table. Easier said than done. But I think the quickest way we can learn that is through either affirmations, end of the day, 10 things you did that you're proud of, etc., or even throughout the day, I'm really proud of myself because I did this. This is amazing. I thought of that. How creative, how intuitive am I? I knew I shouldn't go that way, whatever it may be for you. I can always encounter my vibrational vortex of creation. Pure potential is embedded within us all. We all have access to it at any time. We just have to calm our mind, body, soul. To me, the number one way to get there is through transcendental meditation, some type of meditation that you ascribe to that is your vibe. I think you're trying to take on too much right now. And I think there's too much chaos going on is what I'm hearing for you. It's a way to distract from the heartbreak, things of the past, stuff that you've gone through, what you've had to let go of over this past year. But if you're not careful, this is definitely going to become harder to turn around is what I'm hearing. It's a lot of self-protection. It is a lot of stress. It is a lot of calling in people, community around you that really aren't a match to your vibration because of all the stress and all the burden. This definitely needs to change, Pisces. You need more support in your environment. You're not getting enough. I feel like your soul is parched. Your soul is dry is what I'm hearing. And it's time to call in people that actually affirm and honor who you are, what you're growing, and what you're trying to build. My thoughts join a powerful swirling vortex of attraction. So what we put our intention to, we enliven. And Pisces energy, that is your number one thing to overcome in life, is not allowing the emotion, the what ifs, the should haves, the feeling worthless or like a piece of shit, not letting those things cloud your judgment. You're moving in a solid direction. You need to give yourself more accolades. That's come through. I feel like you're not as far along yet as what you want to be. And here's the thing, okay, but okay, so effing what, right? Whatever. Isn't it better to just love ourselves, love our life, love our experience versus, oh, well, now I'm 28, I got to get married. Oh, 30, got to pop out some kids, whatever it might be for you. I got to go get a better job. I got to buy a house, and I think a lot of those beliefs are changing modern day, which is good. But I also am hearing for you that I don't know, you're trying to make your path linear when you want some excitement and experience and something that just makes you feel alive. I feel like you've had to invest in more of the practical energies this year, your due diligence, kind of dotting your I's, crossing your T's, keeping your life up and running. And I feel like you're kind of dealing with people, again, that just are not on the same page as you. You're actually lowering your vibration right now, and it's really affecting your happiness, your emotional, mental health, and well-being. Really be careful of that this month, Pisces. Be honest with yourself, even if it hurts, Do whatever you got to do. Take some time out, set some time if you need to cry, you need to scream, whatever you need to do to let it out, and be honest with who you are and how you feel. As soon as you are, it's giving you clarity. It's releasing some of this indecision that you can't quite pinpoint. You might have to make some difficult choices, but you always have that unconditional love, support, and nurture by your side. I hope these messages helped. Thank you so much, Pisces, for tuning in always. I'm sending you love, blessings. Definitely comment down below. I love to hear how the energy plays out in your life. I appreciate you and sending you all the love.